All right, so welcome. My name is Ellen. If you don't know me, this is our 10-15 minute stretch break. So September is National Yoga Month. So we are encouraging you all to get up and stretch, try something different. We'll do a couple of yoga poses as part of our stretch. So I encourage you to stand up and get away from your seat and your desk. Make sure that you have some space to stretch out. I always like to stretch without shoes and socks. I like to do barefoot. And I also have a mat here. So if you have that as well, or a soft carpet, that will also work. All right, so let's first go ahead and just start nice and standing. And we're gonna start with shoulder rolls. So we're gonna take those shoulders all the way up to our ears. Inhale and exhale, down and back. So whether you are just starting your work day, or maybe you're halfway through your work day, if you started early, always a good time to take a break and stretch. So we'll do one more really big shoulder roll, all the way up and down. Okay, so we're gonna turn this into a full body movement. All right, so you're gonna bring those arms up as you inhale, and then exhale, you're gonna circle them down and around. You're gonna bend those knees, fold forward completely, and then come all the way back up at the top. Inhale, and then exhale. So let's just do this a couple of times. Nice and easy. Be mindful of your body and how it's feeling today, without any judgment. So I'm just gonna show you how this looks from the side. So full body, maybe even here, if it feels comfortable, take a mini back bend, and then exhale, you just let it all go right there in that big forward fold. Inhale and exhale. We'll do one more big stretch here. And then the last one, just slowly roll up to the top. Nice and slow. Okay, perfect. Go ahead and just crisscross those arms here, shake it out a little bit. Get those arms moving. And then I want you to go ahead and squeeze your shoulder blades together. So we're gonna open up through the chest and shoulders, which tends to be really tight when we sit at a desk all day. So squeeze your shoulder blades together. If you can, interlace those fingers, your hands, and I want you to slide those hands down and away from your shoulders. We're gonna hold here for a couple of breaths. So just keep your head and your neck nice and neutral. So you're not looking down, not looking up, but just find somewhere in the middle. This might be a little bit uncomfortable if your chest and shoulders are tight. That is okay, just keep breathing. Continue to squeeze those shoulder blades together, really opening up through that front side of the body. So for the next couple of breaths, I want you to actually tuck your chin down just a tiny bit and feel that stretch in the back of your neck. So we'll just hold it here for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then go ahead and bring that head back up, and then go ahead and release. All right, so did a little bit of upper body. We're gonna take it to the floor to get some lower body, hips, low back, a little bit of everything. So come on down. And again, if you don't have carpet, make sure you have a mat or a towel. Let's start in what we call tabletop. Hands under your shoulders and knees right underneath your hips. Nice tabletop position. We'll start with what we call cat-cow in yoga. So you drop your belly to the mat, you lift your chest, you lift your tailbone. This is your inhale. And then exhale, you arch and round the back like an angry cat. Tuck that chin into your chest, and then do this again. So really exaggerating this stretch and this movement to get the most out of that low back stretch. You can just go at your own pace here, inhale and exhale, whatever feels good. So let's do it one more time, and then we're gonna add a little bit of arm and leg movement. All right, so this is just gonna warm up the body a little bit more so that we can get deeper into our stretches. So a little bit of work. I want you to extend your left arm and your right leg. Okay, so you got it right away. Go ahead and tuck those hips under, embrace your core. Inhale, lift, and then exhale, pull that elbow to your knee, just nice and gentle. 3 more times inhale, so you get that nice big stretch there. Exhale, pull it in. 2 more inhale, and exhale 1 more time. A little bit of strength with our stretch. All right, perfect. Come back to the center. Maybe sit back, stretch out those wrists or circle the wrists. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Just 4 of those. All right, let's go ahead and extend now that left leg. Right arm, inhale, we extend, and then exhale. Pull it in nice and slow. Inhale, extend, reach through your fingertips, through your toes. Exhale, pull it in. 2 more, inhale, reach. And exhale, 1 more time, feeling that heat start to build in the body. All right, and then relax. Okay, so this time, let's bring those knees wide, feet together, and sit back into our nice child's pose. Walking those hands out. Feel free to grab a pillow or a block and rest your forehead on it. We'll be here for a few breaths. You want to try to bring your chest down to the floor. While you were doing this. And if you don't have that range of motion, you could put that pillow or block right underneath your hips. You could place it here for your forehead like I am doing. I can't quite reach the floor flat. So I use a prop. All right, let's walk those hands over to the right diagonal. I want you to walk as far over as you can to that right side. Take 2 breaths. Feel that stretch along the left side of the body. And then slowly back to the center. Inhale. Exhale, walk it to the left side. Left diagonal as far as you can reach until you feel that slight pull. Hold it for 2 breaths. And then slowly come back to the center. Inhale. And then exhale, walk those hands up. Perfect. So let's get into a hip stretch. So a lot of different ways to stretch the hips. We're gonna do a hip flexor stretch, kneeling. So I like to fold my mat here to give my knee a little extra support. You may do the same or grab a towel. And we're gonna start with that left leg forward and right knee back. So pretty basic here. I'm actually gonna grab my blocks to use as support. All right, so while you're here, I want you to go ahead and make sure your back foot is flat. So we're not tucking the toes, keep it nice and flat. And that's gonna give your hip flexor a little more of a stretch, but also your shins as well. We don't wanna tuck the toes there. Hands can just rest gently on that front leg. I want you to tuck your hips under just a tiny bit and squeeze your glutes just ever so slightly, so we don't have all that weight going into our low back, okay? Take a few breaths here. So you should be feeling that stretch in that back leg. So it should be, if you have your left leg forward, it should be your right hip flexor. Now, if you want to take this a little bit further, you can extend those arms up. We call this low crescent lunge in yoga. And then maybe you take your gaze up, maybe add a little back bend. Again, this is your stretch, your time, so whatever feels good for you. This is gonna make it a little more challenging, right? So always just keep those hands on those hips too. So 1 more breath, and then we're gonna move forward and back into our stretch. So inhale, moving forward. I have my hands on the blocks, but maybe your hands reach the floor. So keep your back nice and flat. Just sort of drop your chest to your thigh, and then exhale. Now we're gonna sit back and flex our toes towards our nose. I want you to straighten out your front leg. So what are we getting here? Hamstrings and calves, right? Still keeping your back flat. Notice how I'm not rounding forward. I don't need you to touch your knee. I want you actually to keep your chest lifted. Feel that stretch. Let's do it 2 more times. So inhale forward. I'm just moving with my blocks. And then exhale back. 1 more time. Inhale. Let's hold a couple extra breaths right here. Really getting into that hip. And once we're done, we'll do the other side. And then sit back. Couple breaths here. Really trying to straighten that leg. And then go ahead and relax. All right, so let's do the same thing on the other side. You can stay where you're at. I'm just switching so you can see me. Open up towards you. So now we have our right leg forward and our left leg back. So now we're focusing on that left hip flexor. So just setting up, allowing your body to sort of step into this stretch for a couple of breaths. Notice any areas of tightness in your body, no judgment, just being aware of that. And maybe after this, going through it again, spending a little extra time if your body needs that. Remember to squeeze your glutes just a tiny bit, right? Shoulders down, chest is lifted. If you want that extra challenge, extend those arms up, maybe take your gaze up. Feel free to do a little mini back bend. Maybe sink into this stretch one more inch. And then go ahead and fold forward. Not really fold, but bring your chest down to your thigh and either hands on the floor or using any prop that you have. Foam rollers work really well here too. If you have the small foam rollers, those are great props. And then let's go ahead and sit back and get into the back side, our hamstrings and glutes. This one's really tight. And try to think of bringing your toes towards your nose. That's gonna flex your foot and engage those calf and hamstring muscles a little bit more. All right, 2 more times. Inhale. Remember your back is nice and flat. And exhale. Sink those hips. One more time. Inhale forward. And exhale. Let's hold this one for just a couple of extra breaths. I forgot to hold the other one. We'll come back to that one. One more breath. And then leaning forward. Let's come back to this just one more time. Couple extra breaths. If you're super flexible, bring those hands inside, right? That's more of like lizard pose. Really drop those hips. All right, let's go ahead and sit back. All right, great job. Okay, so we're gonna finish up on our back, and there's 2 different ways to do this. We're gonna do a happy baby pose, which is really good for our back. If you prefer to not be on your back, and maybe that actually does bother your spine a little bit, you can do happy baby or a butterfly pose seated in this position, okay? So I'll show you happy baby, and if that doesn't work, you'll do seated butterfly. So happy baby, on your back, we bring those knees up, and then we're gonna reach inside, just like we would in a butterfly stretch, right? You're holding onto your feet. It's the exact same pose, just on our back. We take it a step further for happy baby, and we extend those legs up. It's almost like you're in a squat position, and then you can just gently rock side to side. It sort of feels like you're giving your spine a mini massage. Now, if you are in that seated butterfly, you can stay where you're at. I'm just gonna show what you would do there. If you're in your seated butterfly, to get that back stretch, it's not gonna be quite a massage since you're not on your back, but I want you to push your chest forward and use those arms to push your legs down and apart to get a really big stretch for your back and your hips. If you have the flexibility to do so, you can extend those legs out into maybe a straddle and take it a step further. So stay right where you're at. You could also do straddle in your happy baby. And I'm gonna reach for my block here. So again, using your pillows and blocks as props. So wherever you're at, take 2 more breaths. One more deep breath. All right, slowly come out of your pose, and if you are down on your back, doing happy baby, just gently roll over to one side and come up to a seated position that's comfortable for you. Same thing if you're in butterfly. So any comfortable seated position. And we're gonna shrug those shoulders up to our ears, inhale, and then big exhale, let it go. Let's do it one more time. So big inhale through the nose. Big exhale, out through the mouth, perfect. All right, and then we will end our stretch. Inhale, let's bring those arms up. Big deep breath, we'll bring our palms together, lower them down. Take a moment just to close your eyes here. Thank yourself for taking this time. Even if it was just 15 short minutes, thank yourself for making the time to take a break. It is always needed and always okay to do so. And then we'll open our eyes and we'll say namaste to one another, which really just means greetings, sharing energy, and thanking one another for doing this together. So that's all I have for you all. Thanks for coming. I hope you're feeling a little bit better. And enjoy the rest of your day and your week.